So last week, I think I have done with industries and what are the problems and various challenges that are faced by the industries. And even I have forwarded the notes and other things also. You can just go through. Am I clear with the topic of industries and minerals? I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So
It
today
has
we
all
will
the
start.
MCQs also, I think so, right, ma'am? Multiple choice questions also are there. Please attempt them, children.
Yeah, you can go through that. Still, if it is not clear, then again I can just recap if you want. Otherwise, we'll go to the next topic. Shall we go? Yes, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so we'll start with the next topic, that is climate. I think so far in Indian geography, I have done with the India size and location. See, when you go in that order of Indian geography, what are the important topics you have to go through is, one is India size and location. When you say size and location, we are talking about the area, the geographical area where it is situated, in which continent and in which latitudes we talk about. Then we also talk about the longitudinal and the latitudinal extent of the country, the standard meridian of our country, what is the standard time, and what is the difference between the Greenwich Mean Time and the Indian Standard Time. And then we talk about the states and the union territories and the neighboring countries. That is the first topic. You have to be very perfect about it. So how many states are there, and also who are our neighbors. Okay. Next one is the physical features, where you talk about the Himalayas, then you talk about the Indo-Gangetic Plain, then you talk about the Deccan Plateau or the Peninsular Plateau, you call it as, and the coastal regions and the desert. These are all the physical features you will be learning in detail. Then we will be talking about minerals, then we talk about industries, then we also talked about agriculture. Then I did about lifelines of Indian economy, where we talked about railways, roadways, waterways, airways. These are the topics almost we have covered. So I think only two more topics are left in Indian geography. One is climate of India and the other one is a natural vegetation. With that, almost the Indian geography will be coming to an end. So that means the covering of the entire topics as far as your UPSC syllabus is concerned. So today we will be doing about climate. That is, mainly we talk about monsoon. What do you mean by a monsoon, and what is the mechanism of monsoon of our country? And we all know that the word monsoon refers to mausim, which is derived from a Arabic word, which also means that it is prevailing winds or the changing winds as such. And then we talk about the two monsoons of our country, the southwest monsoon and the northeast monsoon. That comes in the later part, but how does actually monsoon and how does it come into existence? And there are two concepts always we talk about, called as El Nino and La Nino. That means these two are the important systems which will affect the Indian monsoon, or you talk about the occurring of the rainfall, whether we get the rainfall or whether we don't get the rainfall, or we get more amount or less amount. All these will be totally affected by the two concepts called as the El Nino and the La Nino. And then how does actually monsoon enter our country? Now, instead of just talking like that, I thought that I will be showing you the video, by which I think you will be more clear in understanding, because this is one topic which is considered to be a challenge to the geography teachers also, because the concept is a bit tough, where you have to understand how does the winds enter, how do the rivers and how do they cover, and how do they cause the rainfall. So today I will just share that particular video. I think that explanation also is given, and still if you have any more doubts, we can still discuss. And I think I will find out that particular notes I was not able to locate today. I was a bit busy, so I will find out that also, and I'll just share you that. Okay, so I'll be sharing the screen. Okay, children, 1 second. I think those who have done the 9th class, you must be knowing about monsoon as such. Yeah, those who have done the 9th class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you
Yes,
all
but
know
most
about
of the concept was deleted.
that one was deleted actually. But climate is one particular thing which is very tough topic. It is actually not a very easy topic. Means lots of confusion also is there in that topic as such when you talk about. So you can see this. You tell me if you can listen to the voice or not. Just you tell me.
Indian monsoon.
Yes, ma'am, it's audible.
Yeah.
You will understand the concept of Indian monsoon, explain the factors that determine the typicality of Indian monsoon, and also explain the role of monsoon in Indian economy. Monsoon, Indian monsoon. To the poets, it is magical. It is dramatic. In fact, it really is dramatic. Let us see what a monsoon is. Monsoon is a periodic seasonal wind that comes from sea to land in a particular season and completely reverses back with the change in the atmospheric conditions in the next season. It is a typical yet dominant feature of the Indian climate. The term monsoon is derived from an Arabic word mausim, which means season. In olden days, the sailors found this wind convenient to set in their sails on the direction of the wind. They used to save their fuel and time by doing so. Let us discuss the causes of this seasonal reversal of wind from sea to land and land to sea. The main cause is the differential heating and cooling of land and its surrounding water bodies, that is, seas and oceans. During summer, land is hotter, and thus low pressure develops over interior parts of the large Indian landmass. Simultaneously, high pressure condition develops over the seas and oceans surrounding India. Thus, a steady flow of moisture-laden wind moves towards India and causes rainfall for almost 3 months.
So you have to remember that this is the low pressure area and the high pressure area, and always the winds move from the high pressure to the low pressure area. This is one factor you have to remember when in MCQs it is asked how is that the low pressure and the high pressure, how it is caused. So please note down all these points. If you want, I'll pause wherever there are certain points which you feel that they are important. You just note down that. Can I continue, children? This point is clear. Low pressure
Yes, ma'am.
and high
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, your
As
voice
the
is
pressure system
breaking.
reverses due to apparent sun from the Tropic of Cancer to the equator.
Yes, ma'am. Any problem?
Yes, ma'am, I was saying that your voice was breaking, but now it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Wind also reverses back to the same direction from where it comes. There is another interesting fact that the apparent movement of the sun from the Tropic of Cancer in June to the Tropic of Capricorn in December affects the global climate. The pressure belts and the wind systems change globally. The maximum effect can be noticed on the equatorial belt. Here, the northeast and southeast trade winds converge, and thus it is also called as the Intertropical Convergence Zone, all right?
So ITCZ, you call it as interconvergence, the tropical belt it is called. That means the converging of the winds here. Okay.
ITCZ. So due to the apparent movement of the sun, this ITCZ shifts 5 degrees north during summer and 5 degrees south during winter. The ITCZ is pushed further north till the Ganga Basin due to the differential heating and cooling of the Indian landmass and its surrounding water bodies during the monsoon season. We call it as a monsoon trough. The intense low-pressure system formed over the Tibetan Plateau attracts air from the intense high-pressure system that develops over Indian Ocean near Madagascar island of Africa. This causes a strong pull of moisture-laden air mass from ocean to the landmass of India. While the shifting of the ITCZ, the pressure system reverses, causing the reversal of wind. Around the same time, the movement of upper air circulation, or the jet streams, also affects the summer and winter monsoons of India. The global climatic events of changing pressure system over oceans have tremendous effect on the arrival, duration, amount, and retreat of monsoon in India. The equatorial belt of the tropical region of the Pacific and Indian Oceans faces the maximum effects. Usually, the situation is like when the southeastern Pacific has low pressure and high temperature. The eastern Indian Ocean has high pressure and low temperature, but the situation reverses roughly in 3 to 8 years. This reversal of temperature and pressure condition across the ocean is called as southern oscillation. Due to vast uninterrupted ocean in the southern hemisphere, the conditions are felt more than in the northern hemisphere. The normal condition brings moderate to good monsoon, whereas the reverse condition brings drought and famine to the Asian region. El Nino and La Nina are the two opposite ends of the southern oscillation or SO cycle. El Nino is the warm phase of southern oscillation, and La Nina is the cold phase of southern oscillation. These deviations from normal surface temperatures can have large-scale impacts not only on ocean processes, but also on global weather and climate. This climatic event is also known as ENSO. El means El Nino and So means southern oscillation. During El Nino, the monsoon will be weaker and comes late in India as summer is cooler and the surrounding sea and ocean temperature remain warmer than the usual. The Peruvian cold current is replaced by a warm current. Therefore, the pull of air from the landmass would be weak. The La Nina is good for monsoon condition as the temperature over the sea remains cooler and pressure different.
So one thing we have to remember here is that when India is receiving good rainfall, that means we have La Nina. If El Nino is there, then we will get drought. That means it is always considered to be the cold and the warm ocean currents we talk about, which are coming from the Pacific Ocean. It all depends upon that. So La Nina is always good. So when they ask in the MCQ, what are these two conditions is El Nino always leads to drought, less amount of rainfall or delay in the monsoon. That means the amount of rainfall that we receive will be very less during the El Nino. Maybe I think 2 years back or 3 years back, I think from the past 2 years or 3 years, we are getting normal rainfall, which is starting from the month of June. There are some days, that means I think 2 years back, if I'm not mistaken, our rainfall started very late, that is in the month of August or September, and it was considered to be less than normal. Less than normal means when there is El Nino effect. If El Nino effect is there, sometimes it goes for 2 years, it goes for 3 years also, El Nino, the drought conditions may continue. So these two are the important factors which will be causing the monsoon in India. So El Nino brings drought, La Nino brings good rainfall as such. Am I clear? Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. I have a
Hello?
doubt.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what is the difference between drought and famine?
Drought is where you don't get, it is leading to famine. Drought leads to famine. Famine and drought are almost similar terms. When do you get famine? Is that famine and drought is that when you don't get rainfall, the land becomes very dry and you cannot grow crops. When you don't grow the crops, it leads to what? Food scarcity. When it leads to food scarcity, it will lead to what? It will lead to something called as hunger deaths, you call it as starvation and deaths. This is related to something called as famine. Yeah, drought always leads to famine. Yeah, got it, ma? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I continue? Are you able to follow the video, ma? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Difference between land and sea is very high. So the pulling of air mass from sea to land is very intense. El Nino and La Nina events occur on average every 2 to 7 years.
Yes.
The arrival of the monsoon rain in India is the most satisfying and joyous moment for the people of India. This is more because India is an agricultural country and the economic growth of each year depends on the amount and duration of monsoon rain. Delays and long breaks in monsoon rain are dangerous for the basic occupations such as farming, fishing, and forestry. This is because chances of drought and famine increase. On the other hand, a long spell of heavy rain may damage standing crops with the increased threats of the economy. Like the agro-based industry also depends on monsoon, as the supply of their raw material is governed by a good spell of rain. The market will remain steady with a good monsoon year with stable price of food products.
See, this is related to the economics concept. So when we talk about the GDP, what is a GDP? How do you calculate the GDP of a country? Always remember that agriculture, geography and economics are interrelated concepts. So what is GDP? How do you calculate GDP of a country? Come on, Jiran, you should be able to tell this. What is the GDP and how do you calculate the GDP of a country? The total production.
GDP.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
GDP is gross domestic product.
Okay. How do you calculate? I'm not asking the full form. Nobody will ask you the full form. I'm asking you, what is GDP? Which one is called as a GDP and which all you have to add in order to get the GDP of a country? Usually we say that when we talk about the economic growth of a particular country, always we give the concept called as GDP of the country. So I'm asking you, how do you calculate the GDP of the country? That is, we take the production of the three sectors of the economy. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it also includes government spending and
spending doesn't come, Sneha, in this. We are only talking about how do we calculate GDP. How do we calculate means we take the total production of the three sectors of the economy. That means primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector for one full financial year. That means the total amount of production, the employment and the amount that is generated from the three sectors of the economy is what is called as a GDP of the country. Higher the GDP, higher the income. That's why the entire GDP of India is dependent upon monsoon. If monsoon is good, agriculture is good. If agriculture is good, secondary sector will survive. If secondary sector is surviving, tertiary sector also will be surviving. All three are interconnected, directly dependent upon the monsoon of the country, because basically India is an agricultural country. And that means if the rains are on time or if the monsoon is normal, then your GDP is correct, because agro-based industries, that is what it is talking about here. The entire agro-based industries are dependent upon agriculture. Without agriculture, secondary sector cannot survive and the GDP of the country will come down. That is the reason why monsoon plays a very important role in our country. That is what it is trying to tell here. What is the significance of monsoon to the economic growth of the country is that it is directly related. Good monsoon, good production, all the three sectors will have good production. That means our GDP will be high. If that means depending upon the monsoon, they can calculate that whether they will be able to reach the target of the GDP or not. Am I clear now? Can we proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Whereas a bad monsoon season will cause inflation, food insecurity, and public unrest. Monsoon is a unifying bond of the nature and lifestyle of India. The river.
This is one more concept we talk about. How is monsoon a unifying bond of the country? Is it where we talk about the festivals, we talk about the growth of the country, the culture of the country. How does it unify? These points you have to remember very carefully. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Monsoon rain in India is the most satisfying and joyous moment for the people of India. This is more because India is an agricultural country and the economic growth of each year depends on the amount and duration of monsoon rain. Delays and long breaks in monsoon rain are dangerous for the basic occupations such as farming, fishing, and forestry. This is because chances of drought and famine increase. On the other hand, a long spell of heavy rain may damage standing crops with the increased threats of flood. The secondary sector of the economy, like the agro-based industry, also depends on monsoon, as the supply of their raw material is governed by a good spell of rain. The market will remain steady with a good monsoon year, with stable price of food products, whereas a bad monsoon season will cause inflation, food insecurity, and public unrest. Monsoon is a unifying bond of the nature and lifestyle of India. The rivers and ponds rejuvenate with rainwater. The soil and underground water table gets support to hold moisture and water, and the parched plant and animal kingdoms become lively with the monsoon shower. The green nature of monsoon-fed India has inspired poets and artists to create rich poetry and paintings that add to our rich cultural heritage. Let's recap. Monsoon is a periodic seasonal wind. It blows from sea to land in one season and reverses back in the next season. The term monsoon is derived from an Arabic word mosim, which means season. The main cause is the differential heating and cooling of land and its surrounding water bodies, that is, seas and oceans. The reversal of temperature and pressure condition across the ocean is called as southern oscillation. El Nino and La Nina are the two opposite ends of the southern oscillation. El Nino is the warm phase and La Nina is the cold phase.
So remember this.
India is an agricultural country and the economic growth of each year depends on the amount and duration of monsoon rain. Delays and long breaks in monsoon rain increase the chance of drought and famine. On the other hand, a long spell of heavy rain increases the threats of flood. Monsoon is a unifying bond of the nature and lifestyle of India.
See, this is another one.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I'm Dr. Krishnanand and you have been watching my videos on geography and various
we'll
other
stop this.
components
Okay,
of
we'll go back
research
to our
methodology.
class only.
So in this segment on climatology,
Shall we continue
are going
this
to
or
talk
should I
about
stop?
the concept of monsoons, the traditional concept, the modern concept, the jet stream, how it is related, and also other components of the monsoon and its various characteristics. But before we go ahead, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do share the videos with others as well. So now, let's understand the concept of monsoon. Although monsoon concept has been one of the most talked about topics when we prepare for any exam, for that matter, UPSC exam or state services or university exams, wherever we study climatology, monsoons
One
have
second,
been
I
one
will
of the
just,
most discussed topics. But still, we need to learn it. So here also I am trying to
Yeah. So good evening. This is what we talk about the climate as such. So these are some important concepts when we talk about climate and the monsoon. Especially, you have to understand about the El Nino. Then you talk about the La Nino. Then you also talk about the mechanism of monsoon. How does it appear and how does it go about it? These are the important concepts you will be learning in monsoon as such. Is this particular topic clear, ma? Mainly, these are the concepts you will be talking about from where you get and what is the mechanism of monsoon of our country. Any other doubts in this topic? Whatever notes are there or whatever is there, I'll be forwarding it to you all. Okay, fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So the other one we talk about is the natural vegetation. So what is natural vegetation? First and foremost is that when you talk about natural vegetation, it is directly related to, you have to continue, you have to give me the answer.
Ma'am,
What is
it grows without any human involvement.
okay? But what I'm asking is that when we talk about natural vegetation, that means which is grown without any human involvement or interference as such. And natural vegetation is one of the important, you call it as natural factors that a country actually possesses as such. That means when we say natural vegetation, we are talking about the forests in the country, the wildlife in the country also. Okay. So when we say natural vegetation, what are the important things that we get into our mind when we say natural vegetation as such? Can anyone tell me what are the different types of forests we have?
Ma'am, you were asking about the types such as mangrove,
deciduous forest,
Yes.
temperate tropical forest, temperate deciduous forest,
Okay.
coniferous forest.
Ma'am, evergreen forest and then Mediterranean forest also.
You are very good in all this. Yes. Yeah. Good, good. So you are from which class, better? What are you studying now?
Ma'am, 10th.
You are in 10th. Okay. So this year you are in 10th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are in 10th this year. Okay. So last year you must have done all these, right, Sneha?
No, ma'am. I think this chapter was deleted.
Yes, last year it was deleted. Okay, fine. Correct.
I still read the chapter.
Yes, yes. You're correct. So when we say our country as such, for example, we also use a word called as biodiversity countries. What do you mean by biodiversity? That means India is one of the 12 mega diversity countries. A mega biodiversity means which consists of huge number of plant species and animal species which are available in a particular country. That is what you call it as biodiversity. Availability of various species of plants and animals is referred to as the biodiversity. For example, if you take, there are 47,000 plant species in India. 47,000 plant species, which makes India to occupy the 10th place in the world and the 4th place in Asia. That means you can imagine the variety of plant species that are available in our country. That is one biodiversity we call it as. Second one is that there are 15,000 flowering plants which account for 6% of the world's total number of flowering plants also. That means when we say biodiversity, we take the plant species, the flowering plants, and also the fruits. These are all the different species that we find in our country. We all know that our country is also a land for Ayurveda also. That means there are so many medicinal plants in our country. Of course, as a common man, I do not know which is a medicinal plant, which is what. But the Ayurveda doctors, when they go to the forest, they know which plant is meant for which medicine as such. You must have heard about our, what do you call it as Veera Hanuman, when Lakshmana was fighting a war in Lanka along with Ravanashura. He was unconscious. So he went and brought that particular Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani is one of the plant which will help in the bringing about the life. You must have heard about that story at least. Yeah? Where he goes and bring the entire, he doesn't know which plant is it, he brings the entire mountain also. That is what you can see, that Hanuman carrying that entire mountain is nothing but the Sanjeevani Parvata. That is a medicinal plant. That means India possesses so many medicinal plants, which makes it a biodiversity country also. So apart from that, it also has a number of non-flowering plants. Like in biology, you will be learning like ferns, algae, and fungi. These are all the various non-flowering plants which are also found. All these you will be learning in your biology as such. Okay, apart from that, it has 90,000 species of animals and a rich variety of fish in its fresh and the marine waters also. And Indian fisheries occupy a lot more important place also. And you must have heard about Blue Revolution.
Yes, ma'am.
What is Blue Revolution? Related to? See, there are
fisheries.
Very good. It is related to the fisheries. That is, Green Revolution is agriculture, and White Revolution is related to the milk production, and Blue Revolution is related to the fisheries. These are the three important concepts we talk about as far as agriculture is concerned. Okay, then what is natural vegetation? So when a definition is asked, and in the MCQ, when they ask you to try to find out, for example, you say that it is a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and left undisturbed by the humans for a longer period of time, which is also called as a virgin vegetation. That means two concepts: grown by itself and undisturbed by humans is called as the virgin vegetation as such. So the cultivated crops and fruits, orchards, if you talk about, they are all not called as natural vegetation. Why are they not called as natural vegetation? Because human beings grow the crops, fruits, orchards, or whatever it is by man. That's why it is not called as a natural vegetation also. Am I clear with that? This part of introduction is clear. Why it is called as a biodiversity? Because it has a lots of variety of you call it as plant species and animal species also. Okay, Shailaja.
Yeah, tell me.
She's not there. Yeah, Shailaja.
Tell me.
Should I wind up and continue for the next week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
8 minutes are there. You can.
Yeah, just I was talking about. So, children, you can ask me, as I told you, all the topics. Which topics are you not comfortable? I think when I showed the physical features PPT, you were all there in the class. I remember Sneha, I remember Yashwini, and I see even Pearly also. You were there when I was showing you the physical features PPT?
Aditi and Vishnu.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they were there. I remember Sneha was there. I remember.
Aditi was not there. Aditi and Vishnu were not there.
You were not there? Okay. If you want,
right?
If you want, I can forward it in the group. That PPT I can put it. Okay. That PPT I will send. You can go through the physical features entirely. I've covered the topic totally as such. And for agriculture, you were all there. How many were there for agriculture?
Ma'am, I was there.
Yeah. Anyone else? Pearly, you were there, Pearly, when I was explaining agriculture? Yeah, you were also there. Fine. And the other one is, I was talking about the river systems. That also I have shown that in the PPT also, or I have explained, I don't remember. Himalayan rivers, and I talked about the Deccan rivers. What is the difference between these two rivers? That also I have explained. How many were there? No, why am I asking all that is that once I finish this geography topic of natural vegetation, with that I think most probably the geography content of Indian geography will be over. Now, whichever topics you want me to tell once again, I can tell. That's what I'm asking you. So you have to be very clear with me so that I can repeat those instead of wasting the time. Otherwise, I can go to some other topics. No, that's why I'm asking. You want me to repeat any topics? You want me to see anything means I can send. Of course, physical features, I have no problem. I'll send you the PPT in the group. You can see that PPT. I think Shailja ma'am also has that PPT, I think. Otherwise, I will send the PPT.
I'm agriculture.
You want agriculture? You want me to repeat agriculture?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. And after I complete natural vegetation, I'll go through with agriculture. Any other topic? Minerals, of course, you were there, Sneha. I think the last 2-3 weeks I was explaining minerals and manufacturing industries. Were you there?
Yes, ma'am. I missed one, I think 2 classes I missed with me.
Which one? Which one you missed? Can you tell me?
I've missed before week's class I missed.
That is industries.
They are all on YouTube. You can check out. You have missed.
No,
okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you can check out. I think almost all the lessons are being recorded. I think you can check out all that. Still, if you find that there are some problems you're not able to understand, then I will go through those topics. I have no objection at all.
Okay.
Shalja, all the recordings are there with Shalja ma'am. I think she must be having all those things because almost every lesson is being recorded. I think, right, Shalja?
Yes, yeah. You have it and recently I have uploaded.
Yeah, so okay, one thing, if you want, I can brief, not an issue at all. I can just brief the agriculture lesson, not an issue at all. whichever you want, I will. And then what about lifelines?
Yes, ma'am. For lifelines,
you were there. Okay. Any others? Yashwini and Aditi, Vishnu, Pearly, you also can say no, only Sneha is answering in the class. What about the others? Which topics can you please tell me so that I can go through? Just now I gave you the list of the topics which are there in Indian geography. Yes, ma'am.
One reverse ones, can you just summarize?
You want me to summarize? Yeah, sure. Not today. I will do after the natural vegetation is over. I'll do the Himalayan rivers and the Deccan rivers. Yeah, sure. Any other topics? Any other topics? Then we have to go through the world geography also, I think. Any other topics you want me to explain? So, but one thing is we'll go through natural vegetation and wildlife, and what are the important topics that have to be covered. We will go through that also. Okay. And I will find out that climate one, and I'll put that notes also in the group. You can go through that along with the MCQs. Everything will be there in that also. That mechanism of monsoon and all that. Okay. And I think there are so many videos also with related to the climate of India. You can even go through, you can just type saying that Indian monsoon, then a number of videos are there. Again, you can see this video is very nice. Actually, it is up to the point. That's why I showed you. It is called as concept of monsoon video. Once again, I'm telling you the name also. Concept of Indian monsoon.
Where in the group, ma'am?
Yeah, okay, fine. So if it is there in the group, you can go through once again. Once again, you go on.
Indian geography, right?
I think
all those chapters, once if they will go through, any doubts they can clarify in the next class along with natural vegetation.
First, I will complete natural vegetation, Shailja. Next week, it will take another. Maybe I can complete in 1 or 2 classes. I can complete natural vegetation. Once I complete that, once again, I will go through all the topics. I'll just recap each and every topic so that they will know what are the points and what are the things they have to learn. Instead of saying that you go through. One class, I will keep 1 or 2 classes I want to keep where I want to go through all the topics once again and tell them what are the important points they have to go through. That will be very comfortable for them. Okay. Don't miss the classes, then children, you will know what is happening in the class also. Okay. Don't try to miss the classes, attend all the classes. Then after that, we will go through the world geography. What are the important things are there that we will go through in the world geography also. I think a little more here and there where we talk about lunar eclipse, and you have solar eclipse, and you have latitudes and longitudes. What is the interior of the earth? A little with regard to your 6th class, 7th class topics are there. If you're all from CBSE, it is starting from 6th and 7th chapters. They are all coming from. Even ICSE also, it is coming from 6th, 7th and 8th classes if you are from ICSE. And I think SSC also starts from 6th and 7th only with regard to what are latitudes, what are longitudes, how many longitudes are there, how many latitudes are there, what are the uses of them, then what is a solar eclipse, what is a lunar eclipse, how do they occur, what will happen. All these are the things, basic things when you talk about world geography. Okay. And little more about natural vegetation. That means today we are talking about Indian geography. In world geography, the entire world, what are the various forests that are there and all that. Fine. Yes,
so we need to follow the 10th standard CBSE textbook for agriculture.
Indian geography. Indian geography, they can go for 9th and 10th. All these topics are covered in 9th. Maximum is 9th. A few are in 10th. That is agriculture, lifelines, minerals and industries from 10th class. The rest all topics they have to go through 9th class textbook.
We'll share those links. Children, you please go through those chapters this week so that any other doubts also next week you can clarify them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll end the session here. Tomorrow,
yes.
Get ready with your presentations, children. Yeah. And then there are few question papers shared by Potay Sharma Garu. I am sharing it in the group. So please go through those questions also. Tomorrow we'll discuss